Hey everybody, we're going to talk about question number 7 on the take-home final exam, the essay questions. Number 7 is, how do you know when to publish citizen journalism or user-generated content? You can look up what this means, but basically it means you've got professional journalists who are producing most of the content in a professional news outlet, but sometimes, especially nowadays when there are fewer working journalists, about half of all newsroom jobs have vanished in the past 10 years just due to financial problems in the journalism industry. So professional outlets have had to rely more on basically submissions from people who read or watch their journalism. So that's also called citizen journalism or user-generated content. Now, this is not just something that is brand new with the age of social media or something like that. It goes back a long way. For example, if you Google Rodney King, you'll get a little bit of a history lesson. Rodney King was a black motorist who was pulled over by the LAPD, and the LAPD several white police officers just mercilessly beat this black motorist on the side of the road, and the beating went on for several minutes. And the thing was, it was caught on camera by just a random person who happened to have a video camera. Of course, this was in the early 90s, so it was before people had cell phones. This person had just a video camera and caught it all on tape. Well, the news outlets of the time definitely were showing the video. It was all across the country. This video was shown constantly on the news. So the fact that we had white police officers brutally, beating a black motorist with their batons showed how rampant, as if we needed a reminder, how rampant racism was at the time, and of course it still is rampant today. But one thing that happened back then was Rodney King, the officers went to trial and they were acquitted in the trial. And after that, when the officers were acquitted of this beating, Los Angeles erupted in riots. Now, that's a whole other story for another time for you to look into in terms of America's history of racism and police brutality against black people. But anyway, for our purposes, the reason I'm bringing it up is it was submitted by a person with a video camera. So this is an early example of user-generated content. But sometimes when you have somebody who submits something, they might be trying to trick the media. You have to be careful not to get played. If you download this, or if you click onto this link to this Google slideshow, photojournalism ethics, we've looked at this a little bit already, but in other words, this is the same one that has these controversial photos in it. But if you go down to the citizen journalism part of it, this is a screen grab from the Rodney King beating. Here is an example of citizen journalism where the media got played. This is a photoshopped picture where somebody wanted to play a trick on the media, and so they photoshopped a two-headed alligator. And ABC Action News believed it, and the joke was on them, and everybody made fun of this news outlet because they fell for it. So you have to be careful, not just to assume that when a citizen or a consumer sends you something that it's real. You have to be very careful. So I want to know, how would you go about deciding what's real and what's not? If you are an editor at a publication, if you're a news producer and somebody sends you something, what would you do to ensure that it is true, that it is accurate, that you're not just getting played? So in the Rodney King example, a viewer helped uncover racist police brutality. But in the double-headed alligator example, it was fake. It was a trick. So it is a double-edged sword. And you can talk about how half the newspaper jobs have vanished in the past 10 years. If you just Google this phrase, you'll get all kinds of articles on how newspaper jobs are evaporating, and how a lack of editors and a lack of reporters can lead to bad situations. So that is question number 7. Let me know if you have any questions about that.